I'm the customer representative, and some of my duties are fee collecting, working with camping reservation, day reservation, kayak and canoe rentals, and I'm also in charge of the merchandise in our park store.
So I have the privilege of being a wildlife biologist for Texas Parks and Wildlife Department. And my job, it could be different on any given day, but the majority of the time, I'm what they call a district wildlife biologist. So I'm that every day, but the majority of the time I get to help private landowners. So whether someone owns 2 acres, 20 acres, or 2,000 or 200,000, there is a wildlife biologist somewhere that is available to help them reach their wildlife management goals. So I write wildlife management plans, and I help people make sure that they have every component of the habitat of whatever species that they're interested in. So a lot of times white-tailed deer is something that a lot of folks want to have and want to have more of. So those are things like if there is enough food, or if there's enough water, if they have enough space for everything like that. So that's the main pillars of my job. The other thing that I love to be able to do and have a unique relationship with the folks here at Atlanta State Park is I get to help them run hunts and reach people on a new level. So that's one of the most important things about my job too, is that we have to count animals, right? We do surveys, so we make sure that there are not too many, they're not too few. And one of the most important things that we can do, especially with white-tailed deer management, is population control. And the way that we do that are through harvest situations. And so we have several opportunities coming up, and opportunities every year for folks to come out and hunt white-tailed deer. We hunt bucks and does, and we also have special times for just kids to come out. So those are things that are really the most important things about what I do as a wildlife biologist in this part of the state.
I am the office manager at Atlanta State Park, and I've been here a little over 10 years.
Well, I applied for the job, and part of that had to do with my love for the outdoors and protecting the natural and cultural resources in our area.
So how I got into conservation was really kind of a different way than most people come into conservation. A lot of people come into conservation because they were hunters as children or fishermen. And I really had a different way to come into conservation. I had a teacher who was very integral into my experience into environmental science. And a lot of people have different, have parents or grandparents that get them fishing, but my role in conservation, actually, that's the other important thing about wildlife biology is, it takes a little bit more than just a regular biology degree. Through the process, I actually have a bachelor's degree in wildlife biology, and the population ecology and the management, the history of how wildlife ecology became a career is really important, and that foundation has to be laid through college and through that process. A lot of people also have master's degrees, and I actually have a master's degree as well. Those things are not necessarily required, but they definitely help get you in the field.
So before this job, I worked economic development, and my son worked here for 2 seasons. And it was his last year, and he said, "Hey, Mom, there's a job opening." And we always camped here, and we always participated in the Christmas in the Park and Easter events here. So I decided to apply, and I got the job.
I think that they would need to have the love of outdoors and to do their research in their area so that they can provide good information for our visitors.
So for women who are interested in conservation, the message is that you're important, that you have a place in Texas Parks and Wildlife Department, and you have a place in conservation. It is so important for more women and for more people of diverse backgrounds, minorities, we're so fortunate in Texas to have a population of people who are very diverse. And it's important for us to have people who can think differently, who can think outside of the box, because there are important conservation challenges that are coming on the forefront. We have species of greatest conservation need that we're adding more to the list every day of species that are declining. So having answers to those questions are very important. And the most important thing, I think, as a woman in conservation is have a mentor. And it doesn't have to be another woman. It doesn't have to be a person who's a wildlife biologist. You have to have someone in your corner that's cheering you on, because there are going to be a lot of messages, some overt, some not spoken, that are going to tell you that you don't belong, but you do. You're important. And so, come and we'll definitely make a team effort out of it.
I think it's a great job for women. Competitive pay, especially for our area. We are in a small rural area, so to me, it was really good for me. It's empowering. You get to do things that you never thought you would do. They offer a lot of training. I've been given the ability to work out in the field, so I think that's kind of neat. I've got to help with interpretive programs. I've gotten to do community outreach, which is more at my level because of economic development background. I really like being out in the public and doing events, so that's really fun to me. So it just gives you an opportunity to try a bunch of things. I've been on a mower, I've cleaned bathrooms, and I've done reporting. So
I really enjoy working with people, customers, giving them good information and making sure that they have a happy experience while they're in the park.
So my favorite part about my job is that every day is something different. And at the end of the day, or even at the beginning of the day, I can go outside and remember why I love my job. Because here at Atlanta State Park, I walk the footsteps of the people that came before me. There's such a rich cultural history, from the Caddo Indians to my great-great-grandfather that came from Georgia 150 years ago. There are so many important people that came before us. And the other thing too that's important about Atlanta State Park is that we are a partnership. We're a partnership of different divisions within Texas Parks and Wildlife Department, within different agencies, both state and federal. And having a team of people that can come up with solutions to unique problems that are only problems here in Northeast Texas, I think that makes us stronger as a team here at Atlanta State Park.
So I like to meet all the new people that come through. You get to see people from all over the world. I'm a people person. I always say, I can't only talk to a tree so much, so I enjoy when people come to visit. I like being able on the conservation part, letting people know the history of the park and how we need to preserve its natural and cultural resources for future generations, because there's a lot of history in this area. I've gotten to help as far as animals rescue a turtle before that was caught, and a crow that was caught. So you get to, give that lesson to people. Why not? You don't leave trash out or fish in line or whatever. So you get to give a lesson, but also show them how to enjoy the outdoors in a safe manner. I love doing our public hunts because you're getting to show them how to, in a safe environment, how you can hunt in the proper way, and working with our biologist, getting to see the neat things that she gets to do. So it's just well-rounded.